Good evening, I'm Anna Jabłońska and welcome to Poland Daily. In 5 weeks, Poles will vote to choose their municipal representatives. Campaigns' promises are being pitched almost everywhere. The opposition is accusing the Law and Justice Party of secretly plotting to remove Poland from the European Union and is pointing the finger at President Andrzej Duda, who recently stated that the local community is more important than the European one. While the opposition sees this as a sign of a Polexit, the ruling coalition says the sentence has been taken out of context.
We are witnessing another fake news about the Polish president, which has been invented and fueled by the opposition party, the Civic Platform. In a recent speech, the Polish president talked about the need for close fellowship inside Poland and appealed to Polish citizens to work on this first. Citizens must be convinced that someone was thinking about them and not about some imaginary community which serves us inefficiently. The fellowship is needed here in Poland to serve each other, our own union, focusing on our local matters. After we solve our local problems, then we are going to deal with our European matters. For now, we should be left alone and they should let us fix Poland first. The opposition is trying to interpret this as a message for Poland to exit the European Union. The Law and Justice Party is practically leading us to Polexit. Unfortunately, similar words were spoken by Brexit supporters before the referendum of the UK exit from the EU. Policymakers of the Law and Justice Party respond to the opposition statements, arguing that their activities are simply a manipulation. This is expressive fake news. The opposition is putting words in the president's mouth that he did not say. Rafał Ziemkiewicz, a Polish publicist, very often writing in a satirical style, comments on the matter, saying, quote, "A drowning man will clutch at the joke," end quote. The opposition has the basic right to criticize mistakes made by the ruling party, but in this case, when a minor slip with an interpretation of a similar word is blown out of proportion, I am laughing at the opposition. It seems that they are doing everything with aggression and bad connotations, so instead of fighting for voters, it looks like they want to scare them away. It seems like scaring voters with Polexit by the Civic Platform party and the media allied with them made a bad impression on voters. A recent election poll shows that the governing party is far ahead in the upcoming municipal elections.
Now an update to the story of Ukrainian and Russian citizen Ludmila Kozlowska. We previously mentioned that in August Polish authorities blocked her entry rights to the European Union on charges of money laundering and connection to the Russian military industry. In September, however, Germany issued her with a visa and let her speak at the German parliament, Bundestag. The case is important because it concerns the issue of solidarity and trust between members of the European Union.
According to his advisor, Krzysztof Szczerski, Polish President Andrzej Duda spoke with the German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier at the summit in Latvia. The president stressed that such ventures are not helpful in building mutual trust and relationships. A foreign government attacking Poland's democratically elected ruling government for delivering on the promises made to its citizens is, according to the president, quite plainly against European values. German socialist MIP Frank Schwab, known for supporting the Kremlin lobby both in Germany and European institutions, is behind the controversial invitation. Schwab supported lifting the sanctions for Russia adopted after the Anschluss of Crimea in 2014. German authorities said that they could not contact their Polish counterparts before the visa for Mrs. Kozłowska was issued.
Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki has attended a conference of the Institute of National Remembrance today. The conference held in Poznań was devoted to the 35th anniversary of the founding of the Poznań Fighting Solidarity Group. In his youth, the Prime Minister himself was an active member of this anti-communist formation.
We shared a special bond of unity. The fact that we managed to hold together was a miracle in those times because we were all scattered. Today, one could say our structure was fractal. In the chaos theory in mathematics, there is a term called strange attractor. I won't bore you with the details, but it has scattered elements which make their way to a single point towards a common goal. That's how Fighting Solidarity worked. We all believed that it was possible to take down the communist regime.
Despite constant criticism by the opposition of the government's excessive spending on programs such as 500 Plus for families with more than one child and 300 zloty per child for school accessories, the Law and Justice Party is looking for more ways to help its citizens. Now it plans to give 1.5 million zloty to Polish farmers as part of a relief program following a series of droughts which affected Polish farms across the whole country in the last couple of months. From today, Polish farmers can apply for the financial aid. The government wants to spend billions of zlotys on a new program dedicated to the construction of local roads. The money is to come from a special purpose fund, which will consist of contributions from various state institutions, including the state-owned forests. However, forest rangers from the Polish trade union Solidarity are ringing alarm bells, saying that the transfer of funds will threaten proper forest management.
One of the 5 promises made by Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki for the coming years is a new program for building local roads. During the convention of the Law and Justice Party, the Prime Minister stressed that the government has managed to secure the money needed.
We proved that by winning the battle against tax mafias, we are able to get this money.
However, the state-owned forests will also contribute to the program. 400 million zloty a year will be used to finance the new local road program.
I understand that this decision can be upsetting to the people who manage the state-owned forests, as this money could have been used in a different way. But according to the principle of implementing good state policy, we may also need to reach for those resources.
Although not everything is yet forgone, as the talks haven't yet been concluded, other state institutions will also have to contribute to the implementation of the program. The majority of funds, nearly 1.5 billion, is to be transferred by the National Fund for Environmental Protection and Water Management. 500 million zlotys will be provided by the Ministry of National Defense. A similar problem arose when Civic Platform was in power. Back then, the forest rangers also opposed against similar plans.
We also took money from the forestry fund, but it was part of the profit of this institution.
Politicians from the opposition are against the idea. They claim that the government had earlier promised that the funds needed for the local roads program had already been secured.
This is very dangerous, because if the money runs out, then there won't be any money left for other needs.
According to the Trade Union of Forest Rangers, the money to be taken away from them will threaten the collapse of forest management.
400 million zlotys in 2019 and 2020 would destabilize our finances and force us to choose whether to transfer those funds or to carry out the statutory tasks that are provided in the Forest Act.
According to the columnist of Gazeta Polska, Jacek Liziniewicz, the money taken from the forest rangers could severely affect their work.
The question is about the price. A high figure will limit investment and development.
Liziniewicz emphasizes that he doesn't believe that the proposition will come to fruit and that the government will not repeat the mistakes of its predecessors.
I think that it won't pass because it would have to go through the parliament, and I doubt that the politicians of the ruling Law and Justice Party wouldn't notice this simple analogy.
The State Forest Enterprise earned 432 million zlotys in 2017. Incomes from the sale of wood, the main income of the company, amounted to nearly 8 billion in 2017. All in all, the State Forest contributed 2 billion to the Polish state treasury.
Thank you for watching Poland Daily. Coming up next, Poland Daily weather. Good night.